Well, y'all got the OG Elgin Walker in here. Come on now.
Cool. Welcome everyone. Today, we will be discussing marketing. You will hear insights from that I deem as three great marketing personnel within real estate, and their stuff is always in my face, so they're doing something right with the marketing. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Right now, we have Kendall here, we have Claudine and Will. Kendall, if you can introduce yourself first, please.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me here. It's beautiful to see all of you. I'm honored to be here. So, yeah, I'm Kendall Bonner. I am your VP of Industry Relations and Strategic Partnerships at EXP currently. But prior to that, my background, been a Florida licensed attorney for 23 years. And then I got into real estate in 2011 after owning my own law firm. I transitioned into real estate for fun. Long story, but for another day, and ended up opening a brokerage in Remax actually in 2014. I owned that for about almost 10 years before I sold it. But prior to me exiting the Remax and coming to EXP, I started a real estate team from scratch, from zero, built that up to doing over 200 transactions and 80 million in volume without me selling a house at all. So I raised up agents, got them selling houses, and built that team up, came over to EXP, and then Leo hired me last year for my current position. But I love all things marketing, lead generation. That was the reason I started the team, not because I wanted to sell houses anymore personally, but because I was obsessed with marketing, lead generation strategies, stuff like that. So thank you, Benny, for having me here. And the Black XP Network is going to be fun. I can't wait to mastermind with you guys.
Thank you, Kendall. Claudine.
Hi, everybody. I want everybody to just take a moment real quick and just share this link. In fact, I'm going to put it right here so it's easy access. We definitely at least have about 50 people on here. I'm going to do the same thing in just a minute. So definitely share this because I believe this is a time where our business is really needed. Even myself, the market has been crickets. So now just trying to find innovative ways on how to pivot. And I know that's not what he asked me for, but I truly believe that we need to get some of our partners on this Zoom today. So my name's Claudia Hibbert Smith. I'll sum it up real quick. Had my son at 14 years old, was written off, graduated from the University of Florida, saw a realtor make $40,000 in 2 months, quit my job 2 days later, and then figured out how to become a realtor. Was the rookie of the year, stayed with one company for 20 years before coming over to partner with EXP via Elena Cardone and the 10X family. And it's been great. It was a great pivot, was a great idea. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Now I've grown my rep share to over 300. My goal is 1,000 by the end of this year. And we're doing it.
Thank you, Claudine. Will.
Love it, love it. Well, kind of hard act to follow, guys, but my name's Will. I'm in Southern California. I'm a marketer kind of on the front end and just happened to get into real estate. So I went to undergrad at Clark Atlanta, got my BA in marketing and got my MBA in marketing as well, and worked in corporate America for some years for some pretty big brands, and then decided to get in real estate one day with a buddy, and we said we were going to be cheesy. We were going to be on the billboards and call ourselves the Property Brothers, right? So that didn't work out for him, but it worked out for me, and joined EXP probably 4 years ago from another company, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. But yeah, I enjoy marketing, and I really enjoy helping agents. Um, the real estate stuff is great, but I found I got more joy out of helping agents because when I help an agent, they can help their family, but also they get to help, hundreds of other families. So that's me.
Great. Thanks, Will. It's an awesome panel, y'all. So let's start. Starting with Kendall. First question. New agents, when and where should they start with their marketing?
Boy. So that's a big question. And I think that there's a couple of different things that if I were to start over today that I would do differently and or just do. And so some of that is number one, use a CRM. I find so many new agents do not come into the business. They get so focused on all the things that they forget the systems. And so I would not start anything without sitting down and thinking about a plan, putting together a plan. I call it like first you go research, do your homework, build a plan, then you
Yeah,
go
put that back.
and then you execute and then you adapt and you improve on top of that. And so I would start with the CRM, start collecting who do I know, right? And putting them in an organized database. That would be step one. Another thing that I would recommend people do getting into the business is as far as recognizing the difference between like branding and marketing. And those are two different things, right? Branding is building out the persona and building authority and letting people know, like, if they go look you up, this is what you stand for. This is your core values. These are your principles. This is what you're going to do for them. This is your value proposition that you're going to be offering, right? And then versus marketing is the investment of money, time, and energy into getting people to recognize you for the services that you're providing, right? So that would be one education piece. And then from that perspective, as far as the marketing goes, I would say I would tell an agent, start with one thing. Too many agents, when they get started, they go wide instead of deep. And I would say pick one thing. Like today, we're probably going to throw out between the three of us and the rest of you about 20 amazing, great ideas, right? We'll probably push out 50, but 20 of them are going to be amazing. And you're going to be tempted to do all of them. And I would say, don't do that. Avoid that temptation. Write them down, put them on a calendar sequence so that you only get reminded about it like a month from now, like, oh yeah, it's time to add something. But I would say go deep, and I call it learn, test. Well, I call it learn, test, teach. But for you, it's like learn it, test it, adapt on it, improve on it, and then you can add the next thing. So I know which one I was going to go with. Learn, master, grow. That's one of our core values. Learn, master, grow. So that would be my short answer to that. So I leave room for others.
I love it. Yeah, being organized is key, and the CRM plays a major role in that. So I would definitely agree. Get that set so that then you can develop your plan. Rachel, by the way, has placed a LinkedIn for the different CRMs. There's Bowley that just purchased KV Core. That's my preferred one. You have Lawfully, and what's the other one? Close.
Yeah, so that's my baby project, y'all. That
That's
EXP. Yeah, we have Bold Trail, Lofty, and Close are three CRM options that you get as a choice at EXP that we pay for as a part of your tech fee at EXP. So go check it out. We do trainings Mondays and Wednesdays at 12, 1, and 2. I don't mean to make this a commercial for CRM of choice, but since you brought it up, make sure you go do your homework on CRM of choice so that way you can have a tool that works best for you.
great. Thank you. Claudine, questions to you. Where should a new agent start, or what advice would you give a new agent in starting with their marketing plan?
What do I do? What would I do? I think planning is overwhelming, and while it sounds good, I don't think you really figure that out until you get some business. And I like planning, but I just say get up and just go do it. Let the people in your cell phone know, hey, I just became a realtor, or I'm a real estate professional. I partnered with Claudia Hibbert, who's got 24 years of experience. I would have done a better job. No, I wouldn't have. I did a good job. I would tell people, and I would do what I did. I would tell people that I'm a real estate professional. I can help you on your next transaction for your purchase and or your sale. Now, where I came from, we focused on how to dominate in listings. Um, that 2 weeks of figuring that piece out, what to bring with you. What do you say on cold calls? What do you say for expired? What do you say for furbos? What do you say for just a regular cold call? We had a 2 week from 8 a.m. in the morning to 5 p.m. in the evening, 2 weeks straight on how to dominate in the listing market. And so I believe that training set me up for success. And I would definitely tell an agent to focus there first.
I like
The
that.
buyers will come. If you control the market, the buyers will come. And you'll find that most times you'll get both sides.
Thank you. I like that. And with the cold calling and with the training and all that, that builds that confidence to allow you to market even better because you have that confidence feature now a part of it. Will, what advice would you give a new agent that needs help with their marketing?
I can just tell you what I did. So when I started, I joined a team when I first started, and what I did was I did everything that the team was doing, and I learned, and then I put my spin on it, and then I went out into the market. So find out what's working, right? Um, I took all that in, I explored the way that they were doing it, and then I put my spin on it, and then I relaunched, and then I took off.
Love it. Thank you. Back to you, Kendall. What does branding mean to you?
Oh yeah. Well, like I was saying earlier, I feel like branding is about your market presence, you know what I mean? And because the reality is that if you get referred by a past client or or someone else or someone finds you, they're going to go look you up. And at least a smart consumer is going to do a little homework, try and do a little research. So for me, the brand is about the image and that you portray, or the persona that you portray online, for people to find you and learn more about you. So as I hinted at in my answer on the first question, it's going to be things like, what are your core values? How do you deliver on a on my team, we call it the 5-star real estate experience, right? So we have a lot of our messaging and branding is around that. And that when they hire us, they're hiring the best in our market for them to feel like they're getting exactly what they expect, right? I think too that it's, for me, I went through a whole rebrand with my brand. I went on a mission to like clean up the colors, the fonts. I mean, I did go deep and I did a brand kit for my team. I didn't start that way, but I did end up building that into my team's look with the logos and all of that stuff. And so by doing that, and for me, I am a planner. I need to have a plan so I can feel like I am executing on it and that I know what I'm doing, because I do feel like I'm very proactive in what I do, right? So it's, for me, those kinds of things are sitting down. Like I just got started. Like I didn't let my team start with a full-blown plan. Like my plan, it evolved over time because it has to. You have to adapt, right? And new challenges come your way. But my process was I started with doing research. I interviewed. So this was my big lesson. And I know this isn't going off script a little bit from brand, but I interviewed all the top team leaders that I knew across any brand of friends that I had before I even launched my team. Like I literally went and interviewed everyone. And what I looked for was, I did ask questions about branding. I did ask questions about marketing. I did ask about team size, where they're spending their money on marketing, all of those things, right? So that's relatable to any agent. You can go do homework at any time with any other agent that is doing what you aspire to do in the future. And then, but the difference between what I would tell you to do, or the difference between what you might naturally do versus what I would instruct you to do, is look for the mistakes that they made, not just the things they did well, but where were their mistakes? Because I was taught, my mom taught me when I was young. She said, you don't have to make the mistake to learn the lesson. And then Jake Kinder said it even better. He said, lessons bought and lessons taught. You're going to have both. And so I'd rather have more lessons that I got taught as opposed to having to buy them myself. So when you're doing these interviews, you're doing this research, look for the mistakes that you can learn from in advance so that you don't have to make them as a part of your business strategy. And I think like that was what helped me go faster, move faster, and grow faster than if I tried to wait and just, fumble my way through it. So that's what I would say, do the research, right? And then as far as branding, I would also say don't get stuck on that either though. Like don't get stuck on the logo has to be perfect. I mean, my team name, I changed it about 4 times in the first 3 months because I couldn't decide on the front end, like what I was going to look like, what it was going to look like, feel like, be like. It took me about a year before, to Claudiane's point, to like really I feel myself, like identify like who I was and what my team actually stood for. So be gracious with yourself and the evolution, because that's normal and that's natural. And I think like that's an important part of growth, is being open to evolving and making amendments as you move along.
Thank you. Yes, lessons can get pretty expensive when you have to pay for them. Claudine, what does branding mean to you? Define that, and how important is it?
Branding, I don't know how important it is, to be honest. I'm not even sure if I have a brand. My brand is closing deals. If you want your house or your commercial property closed, then you call me. That's my branding. But what is branding? It's a uniqueness to you. What's going to be your name, like your name and your logo. I heard that just mentioned. What do your colors look like? What's the voice? What's the messaging? Those are some things that when you think about branding, you want to start thinking about. What's your mission? What's your value? And what does it create for people? It creates a trust, and people start to become loyal to you. People start to think of you when they think about real estate. And you stand out. You start to stand out from the rest. There are people who I see brand and they're into luxury, and they go in front of the Bentley, and then they go in front of the $1 million property, and they do their thing, and then they don't close any deals. You look in the MLS and they have no listings, they have no transactions. Eventually, though, if they can keep up that branding, then I believe eventually it will start to manifest, right? And then you have, you know, the people who take you through a process. That will be somebody like, right? I'm not gonna come on here and put makeup on because I'm doing a training. You're gonna get me. It's how I got up. I'm ready. I'm at work. Look, I'm in my school building. Like what does that look like? That's my brand. We just bought this 30,000 square foot building. I want to teach people how to journey through a process. That's a brand. What does that look like? What does the logo look like? What does our message look like? How do we get here? Not just listed, just sold.
Right.
No, here's the process. Here's what happened in this transaction. And then we went to the appraisal, and then boom, it didn't meet the appraisal. But guess what? I realized when the appraisal came back to me, when the buyer was asking for a discount, y'all, I noticed that the appraisal had errors on it. The square footage was wrong. The dimensions of this room was wrong. Why did he use comparables 3 miles away and there are a gang of comparables right in the subdivision? How do we do a rebuttal on this guy? That's a journey for me that is creating a brand mechanism. And people are gonna love that, y'all. People are gonna love that they're getting to journey with you, and people are gonna learn throughout the process. But if you're just posting, just listen, just sold. What does that really mean? Are people really learning from that? And so, even though that really was not the question about branding, that's my branding. I want to take people through a process. My colors are gold, black, and white, but they don't always fit the narrative of what I'm doing. So I'm the brand. Claudia Hibbert is the brand. Okay. I
Right.
love that.
No, I like that, and I totally agree. I mean, they like to see the process. People want to see what's going on behind the scenes, and that shows your level of expertise. Instead of, like you said, just listed, just sold, and everybody's doing that. Anybody can create that flyer in Canva. So, no, I definitely agree. Will, now before I ask you, where's my Believe the Hype shirt? Since we're on
I
branding.
got you, brother. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got
Yeah,
you.
that,
You know
I
what? I do. I got a fresh run. You know what? I got one in this closet. I got you, bro.
okay.
We'll holler after this.
All right.
So what he just mentioned, I feel like that's a brand, right? So a brand starts a movement. A brand precedes you, but also when you're thinking about your brand and how I think about my brand, it's how I want people to feel about me when I'm not in the room. So if you consume any of my content right now, my brand is I want you to be like What I want you to do is I want you to go to your loved ones. I want you to go to your wife. I want you to go to your husband and say, Will said this, Will said that. So I want to provide so much value that you go and tell your family, your loved ones about me. So that's my brand. And that's what branding is. Think about what you want people to feel, to think about you when you're not around. If you go to my page right now, that's my brand. That's what you're going to feel. You're going to feel energy. You're going to feel like I want to go tell somebody what this guy did. I learned something. That's my brand.
Got it. Like it. How much time should be spent towards your marketing efforts? This is for all of you, starting with Kendall. How much time per week would you suggest?
I would say that depends on the amount of business you want to generate, to be honest, and I think it also depends upon your marketing sources, right? I mean, some of us are going to have very, what I'll refer to as manual marketing services, right? So, for example, if you are door knocking, you are holding open houses, you are cold calling, those are manual and those are things that you have to physically go do and they require more time. Versus if you do something that's more automated, that's working 24/7, that's working while you sleep. Um, that's a different level of time commitment. But my biggest, I think, point I would say on this is there are three currencies and there are always two choices, but there's only one decision you can make. The three currencies are time, money, and energy, and you have a choice to waste or spend versus invest, right? And then the last decision is, what's the outcome that you are, the decision that's going to refer to that or lead to the outcome that you aspire to have, right? And so, when you are dealing with your marketing, you have to recognize that you are investing time, money, and energy with an expectation of a return. And so it's important that, again, you go deep, not wide, in terms of, what things you are doing and make a commitment to something. Do not chase shiny objects, but that doesn't mean you can't go after a niche. That does not have to be a shiny object. A niche could be a pure generator for you. For example, when I got into the business, I was a bankruptcy attorney at the time. My husband and I had our own law firm. This was back in we started that firm in 2005. I joined him in 2007. I got into real estate in 2011. So for anybody that's on this call has been in business that long, you remember what that time was like. That was the short sale era. Okay. I found part of the reason I got into real estate was because I found a disconnect between we were helping people file bankruptcy, but their houses in Florida were sitting. There was a gap in the market, and I couldn't find a good agent that I could refer my clients to do the work. So what I ended up kind of accidentally getting into real estate full time. I'll say that was not the original plan for sure, but I got into it, and then I got referrals from relationships from other attorneys. So like that was easy lead generation for me because I leveraged relationships I already had. I got referrals, like a influx of referrals. Like I would get referrals every week from various attorneys giving me people who needed to sell their house because there was a gap in the market. So that was a niche. And I built my business as a listing agent from the beginning, right? I didn't even know how to work with a buyer for almost 2 years in my business because I just took listings. So like that is one of the things that I would say to you is like the amount of time that goes into your marketing is a direct reflection of the amount of time that you want to invest in growing your business. So that is a purely personal decision, but I would say it's a lot more than 1 hour a day is what it really, I mean, that the majority of your time should be in what I would call revenue generating activities, and marketing is certainly one of those.
Thank you, Claudine. Are you pretty much putting time into your marketing and getting stuff out there, or is it more the process is showing the process is the marketing in of itself?
Everything we do is marketing.
Right.
Everything you do. If you go to my social media page, if I posted something, it's marketing. I don't even care if it's not related to real estate. There is a reason why I'm posting it. There's a reason why I'm on YouTube. There's a reason why I'm on TikTok. There's a reason why I'm on Facebook, and I'm sharing the journey. And if you don't have the time to do that, that's okay. You should hire somebody to do it. My photographer is with me all day from the time I wake up, 6 a.m. working out, all the way to my day is ending. Marketing is very important. In fact, a lot of people get stuck in the details of the deals. And let me be very clear. The non-producing activity, and while they should be going to hunt for more business, they're now processing a file. I wish I would have learned that earlier in my career. How to delegate non-income producing activities, okay? And go hunt for more business. And I say that because I'm the hunter. Like, there's a reason why I'm able to communicate, build relationships, share stages with people like Kendall at Inman and in New York and one of the biggest places. There's a reason for that. And if I get stuck in doing the details, then guess what? I have a problem. Then that means I'm not maximizing my time. So yes, I have a home buyers seminar this Saturday. I haven't even really promoted, but I connected, okay? I connected with the councilwoman and the mayor, and they leveraged their entire database. I said, hold on, I got 90 people already. I didn't even market. They said, oh no, Claudia, and we mentioned it at the council meeting, and we've been emailing and posting it. And so that's better use of my time, really. Now I don't got to worry about leveraging my community. I'm now, I need y'all to understand that my face is on a flyer with a dignitary that just went out to 60,000 people in one focused area. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to duplicate successful actions. So I said, wait a minute. I know quite a few mayors. I'm going to do the same thing for the city I live in, Miramar. I just connected with the mayor there last night. In fact, he was able to get me on Channel 10 News. So now I didn't ask to be on the news. I didn't even really know what they was talking about for real. I just repeated what I heard in the meeting. I know a little bit about the incinerator, but I don't really know a lot because I haven't gone to the meeting. So just imagine, and I'm thinking in my head, y'all, dang, should I say, I don't know enough, or should I just, they probably gonna pluck it piece a little piece anyway. So guess what? I'm just gonna go ahead and tell them how I feel about an incinerator. And then he said, well, what happened to property values? I said, well, now that's interesting. I've been a realtor for 20. I'm not gonna go over the spill, but you guys understand, I'm spending my time where people can't duplicate me. Okay, so how are you a TC? I never knew anything about a TC for about 10 years. I still didn't hire, I hired a whole assistant because by the time I realized it, I needed somebody dedicated for my stuff. Okay, to do over 100 transactions a year and not have a team is not light work. So I had to hire somebody, pay salary and bonuses to, because I was just there in my career at that time. And so for me, yes, marketing is important. Yes, you must always, everything you're doing is marketing. Okay, so figure out how to put some content out there, how to figure out how to create some controversy. Don't be afraid of controversy because that's going to give you the most engagement and that's where people are going to go.
Great, totally agree. And like she said, everything is marketing. You don't just have to say, let me just do realtor related stuff or real estate related stuff. People want to see that they are dealing with the true human being. Like, what is your and? I'm a real estate agent and I am this. So just think about that. People just want to know that you're human and they become your friends or whatnot. Will,
I
Tom,
want to, before Will comes on, somebody just asked, I don't think this is a good question.
the personal and business. Yeah, I was going
Um,
to get to that, but go ahead. You can take it.
no, go ahead. If you want to get to it later.
No, let's go ahead and address it now. Because I was gonna have each of you. But let's go. Will just hold real quick. It's Claudine, since you brought it up. Do you have a personal business account on IG, TikTok, or one is enough? And I think she was asking this to you.
Yeah, I have one because I don't want to have to manage so many spaces. Okay, I focus on one. My kids are marketing. People love when I post my children. People love when I share, this is my son that's 31 this year, but I had him at 14. You know, that success is up to the individual. People love that. That's marketing for me. And I want my people that I work with to know that I'm real. My mom has Alzheimer's. That's marketing for me. I gotta go over here and go over there and go over here and meet. All that is marketing. So my life is marketing. So for me, and not everybody does this, and it doesn't mean that you cannot. It doesn't mean that you cannot have 2 pages, because I see a lot of people with 2 pages that are very successful. But when you have those 2 pages, make sure you have time to function on those 2 pages. And
Right.
I'll give you an idea. All these social media places did not all come out at one time. Facebook replaced, I don't know what, remember, MySpace.
MySpace. Yep.
MySpace. And then we dominated Facebook because that was the only thing there. And then something else came along. Instagram came along, and then you moved from there because you already dominated that space. And then you came back and you dominated Instagram. And so what happens is that people see that I'm heavy on Instagram, I'm heavy on Facebook, I'm getting heavy in YouTube. And you think we just did it all at one time. No, little by little will take you far, okay? Success loves speed. So when something comes out, look at Clubhouse. If you were not on Clubhouse when Clubhouse was popping, you missed out on some stuff. But it's okay. Just know little by little by little.
Thank you. So Will, back to you.
What was the question again, sir?
It was about time. Is there a suggested amount of time that one should apply that's just for their marketing, or how is that related to marketing for you?
Yeah. So, guys, if you haven't noticed, the world has changed, and visibility trumps ability all day, every day. Great example. I had an agent sitting in my office, and they showed me another agent's page, and they're like, "Oh man, this guy looks like he's doing it." I was like, I said he's very visible, and he possibly could be doing it, right? But then we looked up the agent's numbers, and he had only closed like 20 something deals. But guess what? I guarantee you, if he continues to do that, everything is going to catch up. So again, visibility trumps ability. So honestly, guys, if you post every day, your life would look completely different in a year. And that's how important marketing is. So one of the best hires I ever made is a VA that just does video. So like Claudine said, success loves speed. I can shoot a video right now and edit it, and it'll be up on my page before 2, 3 o'clock. So one of the best hires I ever made was a video person. And yeah, you should be spending at least posting every day and spending an hour, 2 hours just trying to figure out your marketing.
Do any of you schedule your marketing out? I do. No?
I don't.
Okay.
I
Kendall?
don't know what turns, and my marketing is my day to day. Like, I'm big on not going to create market. Like, I don't like doing that. My whole life, real time, is marketing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
My
and
pick
what
up
I
my
would say,
kids is
guys,
marketing.
there's documenting.
Yeah.
And that's what she's talking about. Documenting is probably one of the most important, and it's one of the easiest ways to get content out there. But also, guys, you guys are missing the boat right now. What's performing the best is literally just B-roll of you doing whatever the heck you doing with a little text hook on there. You ain't got to say nothing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can I share my screen for just a second, Benny?
Sure. Let me give you access.
And I want y'all to know that I'm presenting, but I'm also a student. And I just want him to know that I'm about to be using his stuff. Copy the right cat. Visibility prompts ability is a whole tagline for marketing. Now I'm gonna tag him on it and thank him. But y'all should be writing these nuggets down. Documentation. Look at my notes. I'm writing notes because I'm gonna train on this. I'm gonna train on this. So I hope y'all are not just in the comments, but y'all are absolutely taking notes on what's going on right now. And I'm glad he said that. because my son is 31, I'm 45, to give you an idea. And he's always telling me, "Ma, you got to do this." And I'm just like, man, I don't feel like it. I'm busy. I'm doing this. But I want to show you social proof of what he just said. That's so true. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
It's 1.2 million views. I'm about to say dollars. Look at it. It's a trending song. I'm like, how did this get 1.2 million views? All you did was pick me up. And I'm trying to tell my camera guy, and he's like, "No, we're never gonna trump. Like, that's your son." Like, my son and him said, "No, Ma, people love us together." And so it had nothing to do with real estate. And he actually did pick me up like that, but the camera person wasn't ready. So I was like, "Oh no, we got to do that again." And so I did redo it in the moment, but it was true. It's exactly how it happened. And so,
Can I tell you why that worked? So I'll tell you exactly why that works. So the algorithm is constantly changing. Right now, it values view duration. That might have been a 5-second video, but guess what? They saw the text hook, they saw what was going on, then they went to read the comments. Guess what? That 5-second video got 15 to 20 seconds worth of viewership. And guess what the algorithm says? People love this. More people need to see this. This is engaging. And then it gets pushed out.
I better listen to him more.
I would agree, especially in working the algorithm. Um, Kendall, I saw your mic come off. Was there something that you had to add to that?
No, I'm good.
I mean,
They're amazing speakers.
yeah. Now, given your position, is there one thing, or if there was one thing, what is one way or your move to get leads for an agent to get leads?
Hmm. So for me, if I could, there's more than one way, right,
Right.
to skin this cat. Okay. And the way I built my business was not a traditional, especially both ways, I think were not really traditional, but especially the with the team. And I feel like it's duplicatable to a large degree, which is going all in on Google. Now, a lot of people, I chose for my team to go all in on Google as opposed to social media, right? I chose to go all in on Google instead of portal leads. I chose to go all in on Google instead of for sell by owners, expireds, open houses. And when I say go all in on Google, that included both free and paid advertising, right? So, for example, I flushed out my Google business profile page. I SEO'd it. I did invest money on SEO, both like that I did myself. I invested time and money. So I did some stuff myself and I paid an expert once I got to a certain place and revenue. Again, I will say this, when you're building and implementing tools, when you invest in a tool, think about the future and the scale. Like, for example, when I started my brokerage, I didn't go cheap with tools. Like, I paid for tools I just budgeted for them, knowing that it would take a little bit of time for my business to grow into it. But the change management of starting with a cheaper version to go into the one you actually really need later is really hard to do. And sometimes that's more painful than just scaling properly in the beginning. But anyway, that's another little side note. But anyway, so SEO, I invested in that. I went all in on my website, making that SEO friendly, including blogging and all of that good stuff. And again, eventually I paid someone to help me do that, an expert. But I did it myself in the beginning. Like, in fact, if you go and do a Google search right now on best Tampa real estate agents, I will come up first organically in the search, like after the ads. So, because I believe that consumers. So let me back up. Who looks for houses online? Buyers. I never really wanted to just be a buyer's agent. I always knew I wanted to go after sellers. Who do sellers look for? They look for agents. So I didn't want to compete for search with Zillow and Realtor.com and the portals on buyer leads. or on search, even though I do run PPC ads and I do get buyer leads, a ton of buyer leads to my page, but I really didn't want to spend a bunch of money trying to rank there because that's competitive. But I could run PPC ads and get that business, right? And that's cheaper. So for me, being able to rank for sellers, you know who else looks for agents or other agents, right? So I get recruiting leads, buyer leads, and seller leads by ranking as a top agent in my marketplace. I also went all in on Google reviews. I didn't go hard on Zillow reviews. I know a lot of agents that was a like a lesson taught in the past. I choose to go to Google because I feel like where do consumers even get to Google Zillow? They start at Google first. So I was like, again, let me reverse engineer like you have to think about your marketing from the mindset of the consumer, right? The person you're trying to find. How are they going to find you? And so that was where I started and where I have landed and where I continue to be. My team, my husband runs a team now, and he's tried to play with some of the other more typical lead opportunities and stuff like that and doesn't like them. He finds that he likes what I built and he just wants to continue to go all in on that because it works and it works for us and it's generating business for us. So I would say that's would probably my one unique thing compared to I think Will and Claudiane, whereas I went all in on Google and building a business there as opposed to social media. I do believe in social media. I do. Again, I think it's part of your branding and it's a powerful tool, especially if done well and done correctly. And done with the intent to grow it, as opposed to somebody who is dabbling in it and not consistent, not actually providing value and all of that. So hopefully that answered your question, Benny.
It did. No, terrific. One question to stay on you. Did you have your is your name, your personal name, your Google profile, or was it your team name?
It's the team name, but
Okay.
I ended up going with the Kendall Bonner team. Remember, I told you in the beginning, I went through like 4 team names. It was not I resisted making the team name my name in the beginning for a number of reasons. I've since changed my mind on that. It works. And people and consumers learn all about me and my team on the website and they never talk to me ever, ever, ever. So don't think like because it's Kendall Bonner team that consumers work with our agents every single day. We close we close deals and that's not an issue. So
Thank you. Claudine, what's your go-to move for lead generating? Or what would you suggest if you had one? Are you there? There you go. Did you hear me? I think you're mute.
I'm just trying to change devices.
There you go.
Lead generating right now, my top goal right now is collecting data. Once again, I wish I'd have done that at the beginning of my career, which was 24 years ago. But collecting data, so anything I'm posting or anything, I'm trying to have a CTA, call to action. I need your name, phone number, and email if I can get you into the data and into the database. The drip marketing, I've got over 60,000 people in my drip marketing campaigns, whether they be buyers, sellers, realtors that want to join my community. So for me right now is putting out content to drive people to click a button. And for me, what arm do you all use? And then for me to somehow, get the information that I need so that I can continue marketing.
Oh, Will.
Yeah. So cool. So I think I'll add to that, but before kind of we get there, I think there's something you guys should understand. Before they become a lead, it's called traffic, right? And there's 3 types of traffic. So there's traffic that you borrow, okay? So that's going to be the traffic that you get organically, right? So that's posting. That's why you see people posting every day. So they're organically getting that traffic. They're borrowing it from the platform. But if the platform shuts down, guess what? The traffic goes away, right? So then there's traffic you control, and that's when we start paying for stuff. Okay. So that's when we start buying ads on the platform because guess what? We can ratchet it up, we can ratchet it down, we can determine how many leads we get at a certain point, right? Because we know every $6 I get a lead, right? So now if I spend $12 a day, I get 2 leads, right? I spend $18 a day, I get 3 leads, right? So that's going to be traffic we control. But the key is to get to traffic you own, and that's those email addresses. That's why you wanna put a CTA, right? So for me, guys, we don't do as many transactions here. My average sales price is about 800, 850. So we don't do as many transactions here, but I needed to get out there. So when I started, I transitioned from working at the railroad for 12 years, and I transitioned to a place where I knew nobody. So I needed traffic. I needed traffic fast. So I got into Facebook ads early on, 2019, when nobody was really doing it, and that's where I got a lot of my business from.
Thank you. So we're at the time where we open up for questions. Let me see if anything came through in the chat. In the meantime, if you have a question, if you'd like to raise your hand, or if you would like to come off of mute, feel free to ask a question. Take away, provide.
Look, I'll take up space. Let me figure out a question. Hey, everybody. Thank you all
Oh,
for being
Rachel.
here.
Rachel, if you want to let everyone know who you are, for those that may not know you.
I'm Rachel Allen. I'm out of Houston, Texas. I'm the National Chair for Black EXP Network. And I am just grateful for everybody to be here. I'm going to ask everyone if they can to turn on their cameras. I know some people probably might not be ready for today, but what I love about what Claudiane said was just show up, show your face. That is your brand, no matter how you look. If you want to change that, make sure you're always ready when you're going to turn the camera on. So my question for this amazing panel is and I know a lot of this was focused around newer agents because we get so overwhelmed in the everyday, like what do we do first? And I love how Kendall said you pick the one thing to do. So I guess I just want to ask that question one more time for each of the panelists. If you could say, if I was a new agent, what's the one thing I would do? Can you say what that is? But you can only say one thing.
Kendall, starting with you.
Like I said before, the niche. I'd find a niche and double down on it.
Claudine, if I
I
was a
would
new
I would have
agent.
learned how to collect data faster, sooner, and better.
Will.
Celeste.
You're on mute.
Mute, Will.
Sorry about that. I'm gonna say open houses, guys. We always focus on the new things, but we have to put a lot of our energy into the things that don't change. Open houses, database, I think you need to have one active source and then maybe one passive source of leads. But I think open houses, I always close deals I always get clients when I get open house. So if you master that, always start with the end in mind, I think you'll do fine.
Cool. Kendall, what CRM do you use?
Follow up, boss.
Claudine, how about you?
I use the KV Core. I've been using KV Core for about 10 years though.
Yeah, that's me. Will, CRM?
Go high level.
Okay.
Well,
But
let me just say this. I actually do use Go High Level too. So I use Go High Level and KV Core, and I'm just transitioning everything over to Go
Same.
High.
Yep, exactly. Yes. If anybody interacts with my KV core, it shoots them right into my go high level.
I have a Go High Level account too.
I do too. Just don't use it. Question in the
Use it
chat.
for everything.
Oh, and if you have that, so there's nothing that needs to be answered. If any of you have this or anyone on this call has that, any recommendations for someone who can build a website for a reasonable price?
I answered that in the chat. I don't know if websites is a place to go. Like
Yeah.
Go High
I can
Level
give
is a
you one.
funnel.
Yeah, I can give you one. Yeah, whoever that is, just message me and I can give you one. But a website, yeah, website isn't the way to go. You want to use a funnel. A website gives too many people options, and with options, they make no decision. So you want to have a clear, defined goal and process that you take that person through. Because for me, I don't like the website. I don't even like putting people on IDX because I don't need them searching for homes. I need them meeting me first. And then after I've met with them, then they can start searching for homes.
Yeah,
But
very.
our value is not search. They can go to Zillow for search. Our value is not search.
For
I
Will,
I just want to ask Will one question.
go ahead.
Like, can he do my background for me? Like that whole
So,
wall back there.
so actually, this is my wife, my wife's office. My office at my office doesn't look like this, but yeah, I'm pretty sure she could hook you up.
Exactly. And
Will,
you
you
have somebody's hands. I think D'Amica's hands up.
D'Amica, yes. What's your question?
Hey, party people. Good afternoon. My name is D'Amica Bermudez, licensed real estate broker here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am also new marketing chair over Black EXP Network. So this, Benny, amazing. Thank you so much for putting this together. I don't know if y'all realize who Kendall, Will, and Claudine are, but baby, they've been giving it to us straight, and I really, really appreciate y'all for that. My question, I guess you can say, is more like a aha moment. Um, what I'm realizing and what you beautiful people are saying is to authentically be yourself in however you are marketing yourself, however you are branding yourself, make it authentically you and be consistent with that. So I took that away. Next time, Benny, I promise you, we're gonna get more butts in the seats. I promise you. I'm taking some of these notes from right here. We gonna make it do what it do. But I just really wanted to say thank you so much, y'all, for your time. And I appreciate the gems that you're giving. Thank you.
We'll connect. We still got to talk.
Yes, Benny, we still gotta talk.
Rachel's been getting on me, but that's for another time. For Will, you have a question. Do Facebook ads still work?
Yes, no one's still doing them, and no one has figured it out. I mean, it's actually like taking candy from a baby. I get when I'm running my ads, sometimes I gotta turn them off because I get so many leads. I get 3 to 5 a day. Nobody's doing it.
All right.
So yes, it still works.
Could Will walk us through how to use the algorithm to boost a simple post again?
Boost a post. So you don't want to boost. You want to go to the Facebook Ads Manager. So go into the Facebook Ads Manager, and then you can target. I'm gonna give you guys a hint of some of the things you can do and how powerful this is real quick. So there's a couple things you can do. One, you can upload a list. So if you have your whole database, you can upload that into Facebook, and it as long as it can match 100 emails, it will start to send your ads to those people. But then you can go a step further and you can create what's called a lookalike audience. So you can create an audience of people that resemble their activity online, and it will serve your ads to them. Okay. If you're posting a lot and you're getting a lot of traffic, a lot of organic traffic, right? You can do what's called a retargeting ad, right? So you can say anyone that has touched my page, anyone that has interacted with my page or anything like that, send them this ad. So it's literally the most powerful thing. It's getting done to you all day. You just don't know it.
All right.
Your ads have to be done through a business profile, though, right? Is that
Correct.
Yeah. We don't have time to cover it today, but if you want to contact me directly, I can show you how to tie your ad to have where if someone click on the ad, it can tie into your CRM as well for anyone that does not know how to do that.
God dog it, Benny, we gotta connect.
Cool. Anything else from anyone? We need a class.
Hey, I got a course. Click on the page.
Oh, Claudine, Kendall, Will, if you want to put your Instagram or ways that people can find you in the chat, I would appreciate it so they can get in touch. Cool. Anything from anyone? Kendall, you good over there?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you
Great.
for having me.
Thank you. Claudine, any takeaways?
So
You good?
I actually do need y'all help on here. So I am working on my YouTube. That was my Instagram that I just posted. And y'all try to click the ones with the links so the people don't have to like. But any which way, I do want y'all to follow me on my YouTube because I'm growing that and you guys could help me get there. Last week I had 582 subscribers. This week I'm almost at 6,000 subscribers. And so if you could help me there, that would be great. If you could just give me a quick little follow,
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
I love that. And you know what? Thank you for opening that up because you're right. And I am trying to regrow my YouTube. I'm about to like completely go ham on it with tips and
We all got
ideas
to check
for
too.
real
And
estate
we always
professionals.
say, well, it's a mortgage broker's job or it's a
If you
title
guys could
company's
follow
job.
Smart Talk with Kendall Bonner, we're going to be talking strategy, marketing, AI, and real estate technology for real estate professionals. So I'm sure you can get to it from my .com on my link tree, but would love to follow. And I'm going to be doing a newsletter and some blogging because I really want to see real estate professionals win. So I'm glad Claudia brought that up because that's a great idea
That's
to ask.
crazy growth. In the world of YouTube, that's crazy growth. Like having 6,000 YouTube, that's like having almost 100,000 Instagram. That's crazy growth. Crazy.
Well,
Thank you.
somebody said earlier, and I'll say this, you either serve your way or pay your way. And right now I'm 45 and I don't really have time for learning curve. So I actually paid somebody who's not even a realtor, by the way, who's a YouTube specialist that has literally taught me when to post, how to post, keywords, what systems to use to look for intriguing titles. I could not believe the video had 1.5 million views overnight. Overnight. And this is my son again, Ma. When people are asking you, and this is I'm sharing this with y'all because I would typically just say no because I'm busy. He said, Mom, if somebody's asking you to get on their podcast, you don't know what it's gonna look like. If you need to do a little research, take 5 minutes, do a little research, especially if it's in your city, go and get the content. And I did that. I listened to him this time and I did it, man. When I went into that condo, they had the lights and the books and the this, and I believe that contributed. And then I've been sued too. Well, not sued, but they tried to get me for using other people's material. So I have to say this too. It was not my material. So I did get in writing permission to use their podcast. And I took the whole podcast and put it in my Opus clip, told Opus clip what I wanted, and boom, there it was.
Thank you. Will, as we wrap up, any takeaways, anything else? Are you good over there?
I'm good, guys. I mean, you definitely have this. What I would tell you guys is not to overconsume. I don't follow many realtors. There's people outside of the industry that trust me, there's frameworks. They know how to get you to take action. So follow you guys, find a coach, guys, and follow that person. Stop consuming everything. But if you post every day, your life will look a whole lot different in a year.
Thank you. And I would like to say thank you to all three of y'all. Thank you a lot for coming on. I really appreciate it. This has been terrific. For everyone else, you know how to reach them, you know how to find us. Be on the lookout for the next mastermind next month. If you have a suggested mastermind that you would like to talk about, message us at the Black ESP Network. Get D'Amica's information. Rachel's off. And just find us. We're not on Workplace for long. Kendall, how long is it that we still have Workplace?
Um, so you won't be able to, everyone's currently being migrated to Slack now.
Right.
And so I think you have maybe another month
Okay.
to be on Workplace